Welcome back to Cocktails with Kate.
I'm Kate.
And I'm her mom.
I'm back.
She's back. I missed my sidekick last week. Had to fly solo. And did you notice that episode was less than 5 minutes?
Well, that's okay.
Yeah. It just shows that you carry the show.
There you go. You're all welcome. I'm just kidding. She did a great job. That was so cute.
Thanks.
I loved it.
Thanks. I wasn't sure how she would feel about
She really
childhood photos.
She really amped it up. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm kind of scared. And she said, well, you should be. And I was like, oh no.
It's childhood photos, sometimes we're a little self-conscious of those. But I was very careful. I was very careful of what photos I chose. So
I loved it. So on the heels of the vacation that we just got back from, we thought we'd do a little vacation travel episode.
Yeah. So I introduced last week kind of generational differences, and Kate wasn't here to defend that. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so there was one point that she even said I would argue that it's planned down to the minute and you scroll TikTok to find the speakeasies. Now I will say, we did get some recommendations of a restaurant from where we just went to the beach, and we were sure to check that out. It was a great recommendation. I love
that's different.
Yeah. We had a great time at that restaurant. It was a cool atmosphere. It was really good food, great service. So that was a great recommendation. But I was not scrolling TikTok, and it was very much geared towards our kids and what they wanted to do. They ran the show. It was kind of like, it was the first family vacation we've ever taken, just the four of us. Normally we bring a grandparent or we kind of tag in on a friend's trip or something, but we booked this from start to finish. It was all about just the four of us, and we had a really good time. So it was all about what the kids wanted to do and making the best memories for them.
All right, so let's talk about kind of start to finish. So you've planned a vacation, you're getting ready to go somewhere. Let's start with packing.
Okay.
How do you pack for a vacation?
I've always been an organizer. I love to be organized. Everyone in our family has their own packing cube for clothes.
Okay.
But yeah, so I have the clothes for our kids. I have a shirt that's folded into a pair of shorts, so that's a whole outfit. And then I do that, and then I have their bathing suits, like top and bottom, that are folded together.
Yeah.
And then I have underwear, socks, whatever in there too. But that way it doesn't matter if my husband's getting them dressed or if I'm getting them dressed or if they're just like, oh, I'm wearing this today. The whole outfit's right there.
Wow. That's actually more than what I do. So I pack using packing cubes. I think you can get a lot more in a suitcase with packing cubes. But I might have like shirts and pants in one packing cube, and I'm not pairing my outfits together.
I don't pair our outfits for like my husband and I.
Yeah,
but for the kids, I do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
they'll
just go in there and grab stuff.
But still, I would have never even thought to do that while traveling with you.
It makes it a lot easier. And that way I make sure that they have an outfit that looks good together. It's
a good tip. I think that you are probably the exception with Gen Z, because I think that a lot of people in your generation bracket and the younger generations probably just, oh, the Uber's going to be here in 10 minutes. I better throw something in a bag and get out the door.
Yeah, I would stress out.
No kidding.
For days.
Yeah, me too. All right. Uber's going to be here in 10 minutes. We got to go to the airport. What time? How far in advance are you going to the airport?
I don't fly.
Oh. All right.
My husband prefers to drive, and he drives, so I can play passenger princess and chuck snacks back to the kids and chuck toys back. That's another thing I have to pack. We drive a truck, so like most of our stuff's all in the bed, but then I have like a cab bag is what we call it. So it sits in the cab with us, and I have that packed with snacks and toys for them that are great for the truck because our kids don't use tablets like we've covered. So like toys to keep them entertained, their loveys and stuff that they have to sleep with that they like to snuggle, I can throw back during nap time, like on their normal nap schedule. I just start throwing that stuff back so that they know, okay, now it's time to wind down and sleep. But yeah, so we have the cab bag that I will do, and then it's easier for us to just have our own vehicle there, not worry about renting a vehicle once we get somewhere. It's cheaper, I think, to pay for gas than to pay for a plane ticket, so we save a little bit of money there.
Depends. Depending on the time of year, how far in advance you book.
I'm a little bit afraid of airports with our kids as well, because they're not they're not quiet, and they like to explore.
Yeah. I was gonna say, especially with gas prices the way they are, it might not be cheaper to drive anymore.
Yeah.
At least currently. I like to fly, but my husband and I also, we're at a different stage in our life. We've saved up a little bit more money than what you have, so we can take vacations that are a little farther away. I like to get at the airport. They say be there 2 hours early. I'm there 2 hours early. And I think that maybe people in your generation, like if you were going to an airport, if you had to go to it, if you were flying and you had to be there, would you, we don't need to be there 2 hours early. Every time we go to the airport, we're sitting at the gate waiting to board. I will get there an hour early. Would you push the limits?
I mean, for the first flight or two, like before we really knew what we were doing at an airport, I'd probably be there 3 hours early because like, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't know where to, like, I'd have to scout out the airport. I don't know where the gates are. I don't know how it's laid out. So
see, but that's where you get in trouble because you think, oh, well, we don't need to be there this early. But then the day that you decide that you're not going to get there 2 hours early, there's a traffic accident on the way to the airport. Something's going to happen. So I leave in plenty of time to make sure. And we have pre-check and we have all the things. So we can get through security pretty easily, but I still want to be there 2 hours early. All right. So we're at the airport or we're driving. We're at our destination. Check-in time is 4:00. We made it there at 11. Are we still going to the hotel to see if they can get our room earlier?
This did happen to us when we just took this past trip. We got there earlier than check-in, and it was a condo, so I just texted the owner of the condo and said, hey, we're here. Is there any way it's ready, or can you just let us know if it happens to be available before 4:00? And she was like, oh yeah, it's ready, so you can just go in. Here's the code. So we were able to get in, but I always anticipate it being what the time they say. So I had bathing suits in the cab bag. I had, all the things that I had sunscreen packed in the cab bag. I had all the things that they would need for just to park and play on the beach until the condo was actually ready for us to go take all of our stuff up. But we got lucky this time.
Yeah, same. So we typically stay at a hotel when we're traveling, Anthony and I. And we know that the hotel room is likely not going to be ready by the time we get there, but we still stop at the hotel and ask if there is a room ready. Yeah.
It makes life a lot easier if you can go ahead and get your stuff.
Yeah. The good thing about a hotel is they will, which you have your truck, you had your own vehicle, so you could have done this too. But the good thing about staying at a hotel is they will usually, if your room's not ready, they'll still keep your bags for you. There's a place where they can keep your bags and you can still go out and explore.
Yeah.
But I will not just sit around the hotel and wait for my room to be ready. If I'm there at 11 and the room really isn't going to be ready until 4, we're dropping our bags off and we're going to explore. I'm using every minute of that vacation.
For sure.
So then that brings us to the next point. So I talked about vacations being a chance to completely unplug. You sit there, you don't do anything. Now, if I'm at a beach, and when you and I went to the Dominican, we were the same. Yes. We sat on those beach chairs. We read our books.
Yes. That is what I do at the beach. I go to the beach.
Right.
I go to the beach very frequently, and that is what I do. It is about sitting on the beach and staring at the water.
Yes.
And soaking in the sun and seeing the kids play in the water, running in and out with their little sand pails, doing the little sand castle things.
Yes.
And
yes.
That's what the beach is.
Now, I will say, I also included in my last video a picture of us in a helicopter in Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
I would have never done that had it not been for Caitlin wanting to have
but
that
again,
experience.
it's about the kids and what they want. So you ask them and you're like, all right, what do you want to do today? I want to go.
I think that's part of the generational difference where, you can take this helicopter ride. Those would be great pictures. We've got to do this helicopter ride, where I would have normally never done something like that.
I don't even think it was about the pictures. I mean, for me, it was, I've never been in a helicopter. That was cool. She hates heights.
I hate, and as much as we fly, I don't like being in an airplane either. And I really don't like being in a helicopter. I did that 100% for her.
It was cool. And she liked it.
Yes, when we were safely back on the ground, I was able to appreciate the experience.
Oh, I went parasailing one year at the beach, and I went with my grandmother took me, so she wasn't there, and my grandmother was like, "Do you want to go parasailing? That's something you've talked about." And I said, "Oh, absolutely, that would be awesome." So we did get parasailing tickets, and I called her, and I was like, "Guess what we're gonna do later?" And she was like, "Oh my goodness, don't tell me that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything. If that line breaks and you just fling back and you land on a hotel roof,
have you not
what
heard
are you gonna
these
do?
Stories of these things are not regulated.
You can't live your life by stories. You got to live your life by your experiences." And that was a great one.
And I'm
could
safe.
Be
a generational difference.
I'm here. I'm good. No injuries. It was an awesome time. We saw turtles. We saw jellyfish. We saw lots of stuff from up there. It was so cool, so pretty.
Getting back on the topic of what I was bringing up. So depending on the vacation, yes, there's a time to sit and do nothing, but still enjoy the experiences that the area has to offer.
Yeah.
And then there's vacations where
you live by an itinerary, like Disney World.
So yeah, that's a whole other beast.
That was where my brain went.
Episode in and of itself.
That was where my brain went immediately when I watched the episode she made without me last week. I immediately was like, we don't just chill. What about Disney World? And it was 15-minute increment. Like, we have to be at this park at this time, and we have to get fast passes to these rides, and we have to.
Yeah, well, Disney's different now too, but I couldn't include those pictures because those were printed out. I had a 35mm camera on that trip.
Yeah.
And on that Disney trip, I had, I think it was 24, 26 rolls of film that I brought back. And half of them, the pictures weren't good because you didn't know. We didn't have this instant gratification of being able to look at the picture and say, no, I don't like the angle, take it again.
I forgot all about that because she had a Nikon digital camera and we went to
it wasn't, that was a 35mm. It was a Nikon 35mm.
Oh,
My next camera was a digital camera.
But I remember going to that little shop in the mall where they developed all of our pictures.
Yes.
I had forgotten all about that.
Yes.
Wow, phones have really made life easy.
Yes.
And I have videos of my kids.
Even a digital camera made life easier because you could at least see. Now, granted, it was a tiny little screen, but you could at least see.
But I have videos of the kids playing in the water from last week. Yeah. And you don't have videos on digital. Like, I can still pull up the videos and hear their screams of delight and laughing.
There was one picture that I ran across where you were holding the old Sony camcorder that we had and you were doing videos. Yeah. And I thought, times really have changed.
Yep.
Really have changed. And we can't even watch those anymore because there's nothing
VHS.
There's nothing. Well, those were the little tiny
cassette things.
Yeah, those were the little tiny cassettes that went in the camcorder. Yeah, no.
Wow.
Yeah, so see? Things change and they change for the better. But no, I think depending on the vacation, you can just go. Everything can be planned out. I don't like it. I don't like it that way though.
No.
Like Anthony likes to have, this is what we're doing this day we're doing this, and it is almost planned out to the minute. And I just kind of want to walk out of the hotel and see what happens.
And you want to make sure that you have time to do the things that you go into the vacation wanting to see and do. So you want to set aside time like that, but like planning it out like that, like on Thursday, we're going to go here and we're going to do this. And then on Friday, but then what if it rains Thursday?
Yeah.
And that's an outdoor activity. Then you got to switch up your whole thing. And you just kind of plan it. You're like, these are the things we want to do. We'll figure it out. And then you have your list, but you don't plan it out or anything. You just go.
Yeah.
And obviously there's things like tickets that you have to buy. So you kind of have to plan those a little bit, and that is dependent. But
Yeah.
other than that, I don't see a point.
What about food? Are you, when you go on vacation, are you looking for the local spots? Are you looking for those TikTok recommendations where everybody says, "Oh, you have to eat this"? Like, what are you?
Definitely local.
Yeah, I agree.
Love local food.
People say if it looks like a hole in the wall, it's going to be the best food that you've had.
Yep.
And in my experience, it really is true.
Yep.
You can't beat those local spots. I think it's nice to look and see what people recommend and take those recommendations to heart. But also, I think a lot of times those recommendations, especially now with the advent of all of the information being so easily at your fingertips, some of those recommendations might even be local spots. So don't discount those hole-in-the-wall places because they're good.
And they're cheap. The touristy restaurants amp all of their prices up so high.
Even when we travel internationally, though, like I remember one excursion that we did. We normally, if we travel internationally, it's usually, Anthony and I, it's usually in the Caribbean somewhere. But I remember one Caribbean excursion that we did. The person that was driving, it was just us and our travel companions. And the driver had asked if we wanted to have local, like real, true cuisine for the area that we were at. And we were, absolutely, we want to take you up on that. And I remember when he pulled up to that little roadside shack, I thought, oh gosh, is my stomach going to be okay after this? It was so good. It really was so good. On a trip, you want to enjoy the culture. You want to soak it all in.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. So,
and even just within the states that we've traveled, like Florida, my husband and I found this like marina, and there was a restaurant at the end of the marina that it's all fresh caught. I mean, they catch it right there in that water, and it's so good. But it's a local spot. You don't.
Yeah.
It's nothing that you're gonna find on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's just at the end of a marina in a random place.
Well, and that reminds me of when Anthony and I went to Maine. And we were at this, the hotel concierge had recommended a little like diner kind of restaurant down the street. And we always take the local recommendations, like we just said. So we went down to this little diner, and, from the outside, it didn't look like a whole lot. It wasn't bad. Very expensive for a diner. And we walked in and we looked at the prices, and we were like, man, this place is like it's Maine. So lobster rolls. And we were just like, man, this place is expensive. But then we saw a fisherman walking in with fresh caught seafood or fish, whatever it was. I think it might have been clams or oysters. I can't remember, but it's worth the price.
Yep.
Yeah. You cannot beat that. So I think we got off topic. Is there anything else about vacations that might be generational differences?
I don't think so. We covered packing, we covered itineraries, we covered food, we covered plane versus driving.
Yeah. We got lots of good tips. Traveling with kids. Pack
those outfits together.
Your organizational skills.
If your husband is like mine and he's like, I don't know, it's summer at the beach, let's put him in some sweatpants. Why? Nope. Don't do that. So you got all your little outfits right together. Like, ooh, this red shirt's going to look great with these pink shorts. No, it's not. So you pack them all together. So if your kids or your husband goes in there and grabs outfits and not you, then they're still going to look cute. They're still planned out.
Well, it's good advice too with the cab bag if you're doing a road trip to have the different and the way that you kind of explained how you wind them down. Like, okay, it's snack time, and now we're winding down into nap time, so you can still
keep your routines, keep your schedules
and
for those
and make
younger
sure
babies.
that they're not having the meltdown during the vacation when you don't want them to.
Yep.
All right, awesome. Tell us what you think. Did we miss anything? Did we not hit anything on the mark? Are we wrong about anything? Tell us what you think.
How do y'all do vacations? Yeah. Do you have cab bags? Is that just a me thing? Did I create something new, or is that something you've been doing for years?
Yeah. And until next time,
Go call your mom
or your daughter,
and plan a vacation.
there you go. 2 weeks in a row. Bye, everyone.
Bye.